In order to mark students' work within Blackboard, trainers need to be familiar with the grade centre. So to find the grade centre, you come down to the control panel at the bottom of the unit menu and click on the link here. You can drop down the arrow, or you can use the arrow at the side to enter straight into the grade centre. And I would enter here into the full grade centre. So inside the grade centre you have a series of columns in a table which represent various parts of information about the student and the pieces of assessment. So you'll have students' details here. You can see when they last accessed material. You can get their username and student ID, which will be helpful if they've forgotten their username or password to get into Blackboard. You can find that here. So as you scroll across, unfortunately the grade centre is fairly limited in what it will show you at one time. You can't really expand it out too much. So you'll need to scroll across the grade centre to find some of the information that you're looking for. One of the other ways that you can find information is through the filters that we have set up. So if you click this item here, filter, and choose a view from this current view item, you'll be able to filter the columns that show to you in the grade centre so that you only see columns for the unit that you're interested in. So if we just wanted to see columns that related to this unit, we click that particular filter, then we're only going to see those couple of columns that apply to that unit. If you can't quite see the information that's at the top of the column, it's not showing you everything like this item here. If you just hover over the top of the column, you'll either get the prompt that you can see near the cursor there that tells you what that column's name is, or if you watch this grade information bar here, as you hover over, it'll give you some information on that grade, on that column. So it'll tell you how many points and what the name of the column is there. So again, if you want to filter just by unit, you can choose that here. If you want to look at the full grade centre, you can choose that here also, and we go back to the full grade centre view. So in our units, there'll be about 3 columns. 3 to 4 columns would be standard. So you'll see that there's usually an exam column. For trades, there might be a practical column. For business, there might be an assignment column. There may be a second exam column, and then there'll be a status column. The status column and this little symbol here means that is not visible to the students. So students aren't going to see that status column, and that status column is just there to indicate whether the student has completed all of the items and been marked as competent. At the moment it still does say satisfactory or not satisfactory. In the future we may change that so that it says competent or not yet competent. But for the moment we're just going with the satisfactory, not satisfactory, because it's not showing to the students. Basically, when activity happens in the assessment items, this will filter straight into the grade centre. So this particular exam here was a short answer question exam. So this green icon here means that it needs to be marked. The student has completed that piece of assessment, but because it can't be marked automatically by the system, because it's not multiple choice or that kind of designated answer, because it's a short answer question, this will need to be marked by the trainer. So you can tell which items need to be marked by looking at the symbols that appear here. This item here, this exam, isn't showing as not satisfactory. So that means that this particular exam is a multiple choice exam or something of the like, and the student has completed it, the system has marked it automatically, and the student has been deemed not satisfactory because they haven't achieved the 80% cutoff. Other icons that might show up in the grade centre can be found here under this icon legend. You may occasionally see this item, the attempt in progress, the little pencil and paper, and that's showing you that either a student is attempting an exam at that present moment, or perhaps they have tried an exam and exited out of it without submitting it, so it's really incomplete. You may also see these little orange triangles here, and that is the override option. So you may see them come up when people have been cross-credited and their grades have been entered manually. If you'd like to keep a copy of the grade centre at any particular time, so if you want to just make a backup for yourself, or if you'd like to take a print out of the grade centre, you can do that through the work offline option here. So if you click download, and you'll be able to download the full grade centre or only a couple of the columns, and then you choose the type of file that you want. So this will just make it an Excel spreadsheet, and then you output it to your computer and hit submit. And that will give you an Excel spreadsheet that you can work on outside of Blackboard. If you were wanting to do all your marking outside of Blackboard, you could download that sheet and then do your marking, enter the specific grades, and you can upload that again and it will populate into the system. A couple of other things to note about the grade centre is that if you only want to look at one particular student, you can use the options through the arrows here, and if you just want to look at one student, you can hide the other rows in the grade centre. This helps so that you don't get confused between students and enter grades in the wrong student's line. So if you want to see the rest of the grade centre again, you go back to show all of the rows. Another useful feature here is emailing the user. So if you've marked a particular assessment and you want to email the student some information about their attempt, you can email a student straight from here. When you get along to the actual assessment columns, the options that you get in the arrow change slightly, and they'll allow you to view the grade, exempt the grade, or view a particular attempt. At no time will we be using the exempt grade at present, so please do not exempt any of the grades. This will not release further content for the students. It won't assist in the calculations of the grade centre. So there are other ways that we will be able to exclude students from certain assessments that they don't need to do. So just a note not to use that exempt grade.